As a kid who grew up in a mixed faith home, I do have a few things that I wish had been done differently. One good thing that my parents did is they didn't fight about religion in front of me. From what I understand, my older siblings had to go through that a bit, but I was spared. By the time I came around as the fourth child, they had done enough fighting and they had decided to just let sleeping dogs lie. For those of you just joining into the channel now, I grew up in a mixed faith home. My mom was Mormon, she raised us Mormon, and my dad was Catholic and does not all believe in Mormonism and thinks the whole thing's a fraud. It's a lot healthier if both parents respect the other spouse's right to choose to believe in what they believe in front of the children. That doesn't mean you have to approve of all the beliefs, but making fun of the beliefs or being belittling about how the spouse believes them is really damaging to the kids. I got a lot of talks about how the Catholics believe these ridiculous things, as if Mormons didn't believe absolutely batshit crazy things, and how obviously my dad was a smart man, so eventually he would come around and figure out the Mormon church was true, you know? That's really degrading to my dad's beliefs and his heritage and his history with Catholicism, and that's not okay to do to your kids who are not yet adults and who have little developing brains and who are still trying to create a relationship with that parent. Both parents should have a right to veto, whether that be to activities that make them feel uncomfortable. So for example, if one spouse is Mormon and the other spouse does not feel comfortable with their child doing baptisms for the dead because that is incredibly disrespectful to people who have died, then that right to veto should be respected. And if the Mormon parent, for example, doesn't want the Catholic parent to baptize their kids as babies, that right to veto should also be available, keeping in mind that this child's eventually going to be an adult. So neither of you can control this child forever. They're going to get to make their own decisions later. If you're the leaders, the church leaders of some of these kids, they put enormous amounts of pressure on me and my siblings to convert my dad. And a lot of this was around the very harmful Mormon rhetoric about forever families and how basically you're only saved if everybody toes the line and everybody pays 10% of their income and everybody is doing all the things they're supposed to do. And about the time I was about 3, people started putting pressure on me inside the church to try to convert my dad. I even had what Mormons call a patriarchal blessing, but it's basically a special Mormon fortune-telling session when I was a very, very young teenager, 12 or 13, telling me that I would be the sibling, I would be the one responsible for converting my dad so we could be a forever family. And basically if I wasn't able to do it because I wasn't faithful enough, then our family would be separated eternally. That is fucked up to tell a child. And in front of the kid, please don't be well, my beliefs are right and the true beliefs and your other parents' beliefs are clearly wrong. The fool.